So we will just go right over to the New York Giants. And the question is, how bad will they be? Because last year,
oh, they're going to be so bad. You want to talk about a team that's going to challenge the Pats for the worst team in the league?
If you order these three, Casino, Patriots, Cardinals, Giants, worst to first.
What about Panthers?
Okay, I'll throw Panthers in there. Those four, order them in draft order. So who's getting the number 1 pick?
Patriots.
Who's getting the number 2 pick?
Panthers.
3?
Giants.
I actually agree with those rankings. And then Cardinals.
Yeah.
I agree. But the Giants, in order
you're trying to catch me on something there. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna catch me slipping.
In order to predict their future, we have to talk about the past. So last season they went 6-11 and missed the playoffs. They were 27th in total D, 19th against the pass, 29th against the run. In total offense, they were 29th, 31st in the league in passing, and then 16th in the league in rushing. They also lost Saquon Barkley. And then
they lost their offense.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, their 2024 does not look much better. Their projected rankings, according to PFF, for the O-line, they are 29th. Running back room is 28th. Wide receiver room, 28th. Defensive line, 18th. And they have a top 5 linebacker unit in the NFL. They are projected this upcoming season to be 6-5. Casino and I both said under. They are bringing in a new defensive coordinator. They're bringing in Shane Bowen, who was the Titans defensive coordinator for the past 3 years. They are bringing back, however, Brian Daboll for his, I believe it's second or third year with the Giants, and then offensive coordinator Mike Kafka entering his third year as the offensive coordinator. So before we get what they added and what they did in the draft, Casino, how bad will it be?
Oh, yeah, because I want to talk about the draft. There's one story that I just love. How bad are they going to be? They're going to be bad, man.
Let's pretend we have a Giants fan in the audience that is much like that Seahawks fan who I read the comment about. What's the best case scenario for this Giants team? If everything goes right for them, what are they?
Daniel Jones has to have a better season than his version of an all-pro season last year for him. Or was that last year or the year before? The last 2 years. He's done pretty decent the last 2 years, but
last year he was out with injury. Or no. That was last year he only played 6 games. So
yes.
Yeah.
So it was the year before where he had his best season ever. I'm getting those 2 years mixed up, man. It's been a blur with the kids having the kids. Boy. Anyway, he has to step up. So you have to see him outperform his best year, which was 2 years ago. And then, as you said, he mentioned he got injured last year. He has to stay away from the turf monster.
True.
That's huge. And then he's going to have to find a way to, I don't know my title. He's going to have to find a way to use his legs outside of the red zone and do it like a Lamar Jackson, do it like a Jalen Hurts.
Well, Casito's daughter, not a fan of Daniel Jones. So last year he went 15-5, or not last year, the year Casino's talking about, his best season was 3,200 yards, 15 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions. However, he did rush for over 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. So that is his best year, both on the ground and through the air. His rookie year, he threw his most touchdowns, which was 24, 12 interceptions, 3,000 yards. But 2 years ago was his best year with 67% completion percentage. It is insane when you look at his past, just his career. He played 13 games in his rookie year, 14 the following, 11 the following, finally played a full season in 2022. played only 6 games last year, and then they gave him a massive, massive contract for a quarterback in the most pass-friendly league possible who has not thrown more than 24 touchdowns in a season. And his second closest was 15. So again, the most pass happy the league has ever been when he started a full season, he threw 15 touchdowns. I don't know. Even with 15 passing touchdowns, you add on the 7 touchdowns. I still feel like that's below the league average of what a good quarterback is in this league.
All
It
right.
is absolutely insane that they actually paid him a shitload of money for that stat line. But as bad, how bad can they be? Well, like Casino and I just mentioned, I think this is a top 5 minimum top 5 draft team next year. And do you think if the Giants have their over unders projected at 6.5, so if they have another 6-7 win season, do you think Brian Daboll stays, or do you think they finally just cut ties with him?
No, if it's anything less than a playoff bubble, he's gone. I think he actually has to make the wild card.
I agree. It's also weird that an offensive coach who won coach of the year by basically revamping the entire Bills offense around Josh Allen, it's weird that you look at his offensive ranks and he's 29th in the league in total offense. And going into this season, they basically loaded up all on defense. So it's like, how can this offensive coach not get this offense right in literally any facet of it, right? Because they're bottom 5 team in almost every category. I would say quarterback, O-line, running back, wide receiver. Their tight end doesn't really do anything for me. So an offensive minded coach who made his name coaching offense is leading a offense that looks abysmal. I mean, just awful. They tried to address it in the draft by drafting Malik Neighbors, who will be their day 1 wide receiver 1 because they
Right.
literally have nobody else.
I
What's
so
your
that's
draft story?
I love this. So did you hear the what Robert Saleh said about Malik Neighbors?
The Jets head coach? I did not.
Uh hold on, my bad. Where am I at? Where am I at? Wrong. Keep talking. Sorry, I gotta pull this back up.
So they got with the 6th pick in the first round, they got Malik Neighbors, the star wide receiver from LSU. They also, and then they just went safety, cornerback, tight end, running back in the draft, and then finished off
Yeah.
with a linebacker.
No,
So
I was right. No, I had the right thing pulled up. But his take on Malik Neighbors, so he said dynamic elite competitor, freaky, freaky, freaky. Which I just the fact that he said that 3 times, like that really made me happy. It said, and then he goes on to say, you could argue that he could have been the number 1 receiver, but he's a very special talent, special mindset, and the Giants definitely got a really good one. But I mean, hey, he did pretty dang good in his junior season in LSU. As I'm looking up here, I didn't know the exact stats. I remember seeing him playing well, but it was 86 catches for 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. It's a pretty good season. It's a pretty good season.
yeah, no, I like the pick. And again, if you're gonna
But
invest all this
I
money,
loved seeing that because like I wanted to look up. I looked up Malik Neighbors. I wanted to see if there was anything special, that they're talking about him right now. And yeah, there is Robert Saleh calling him freaky, freaky, freaky.
he was the 2nd wide receiver in the draft, just behind Marvin Harrison Jr., who went to the Cardinals. So,
Which is a guarantee number 1. Like he
oh yeah,
definitely
he's gonna be
the
a
Patriots should
top
have taken
5.
him. The Patriots should have taken him.
Yeah, then they could have paired him with their 6th round cornerback or
Yeah.
quarterback who's going to
Yeah.
start. But do you think they made the right choice going with Malik Neighbors when Michael Penix Jr. was still on the board, JJ McCarthy was still on the board, Bo Nix was
Well,
still on the board?
yes, because you've already paid Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty much the
mean,
issue.
you know that you're still going to be in the bottom. You'll have another chance at a good quarterback, coming up in the next 1 or 2 drafts.
especially
that
when you know you're gonna be drafting high.
yep, when you know you're gonna be drafting high, that you can get yourself another quarterback coming on through. You didn't need to waste one there. Get a really good, you know, get a really good receiver, a good young receiver, because even if it doesn't work out right now, or even if it works out right now, and by the time you get a decent quarterback, he's already asking for all this money, this and that. You can use them to get other players. So
True.
instead of having somebody that's going to sit behind Daniel Jones and just waste away and pretty much just pull a Packers, where you're sitting there and developing quarterback, which works. We've seen that work for the Packers for 20 plus years now. Um, but you got Neighbors, you're pulling him in. You're hoping that he can shine and be a bright star, because even if you aren't able to keep him, you could definitely use him as some sort of collateral later on down the line as a trading tool to get yourself better players when you do establish yourself a different quarterback when you get done with this Daniel Jones contract.
Yeah. No, I agree. It is funny though when you see there was just a clip that went viral of Sauce Gardner where they asked him because the Jets and the Giants are doing like joint practices.
Yeah, he
So
talked
they
up Malik as
asked,
well.
yeah, he praised Malik and then they asked him about Daniel Jones and you could tell in the nicest way possible he was trying not to shit on him, but he just like kept giving him like backhanded compliments that were actually insults. And then Malik Neighbors, you can tell, also hates Daniel Jones. And you got to feel bad for him. But then again, you don't feel too bad because then there's also that clip where the Kay Adams from the NFL Network is talking to Daniel Jones and she looks like she's fucking melting in her chair talking to him. So he's got, as the kids say, Casino, he might not be good at football, but he's
Don't
got the
say it.
Riz. He's got the Riz. And on that
I'm
note,
I'm so
let's
happy that your son and nephews are back in school now, so you don't have to hear.
my son gets home from middle school in like half an hour. I'll show him this clip and he'll pat me on the back and be like, "Great job, dad."
Ugh,
But
oh,
next casino.
uh,
Let's
tell him
jump.
tell him tell him Uncle Casino is very very disappointed in him.
Oh, I forgot to say who they
Just
brought
tell
who
him,
the
just even if you don't show him this clip, just tell him I'm disappointed in him in just general. Just out of nowhere, just say Uncle Casino's disappointed in you, and he asks why. Just be like, I don't know. He just said he's disappointed in you.
Really, the only player the
That
Giants
would be
brought
funny.
over in free agency who I wanted to talk about was Brian Burns, the linebacker from the Panthers. Really good pickup. I was really devastated the Eagles didn't get him, and that's how I know it's a good move. Other than that, they brought over Singletary, they brought over Stoll,
Oh,
Drew
Devin
Lock.
Singletary, man. Ugh.
Yeah, they just
He's
brought
been
in a
tough to
bunch of
watch the last couple seasons.
well, see, they brought he's going to be their number one or their number one running back,
Yeah,
which that's how you know it's going to be a rough season. If Devin Singletary in 2024 is your workhorse back. He comes over from the Texans, he comes over from the Buffalo Bills. He's never had 1,000-yard season.
that's
So,
insane to me. For him to have such almost a household name when it comes to football. Like you say Devin Singletary. Maybe it's just because the name's cool or something, but everybody knows Singletary, and he's not that good of a back, dude.
no, he's definitely always been like a second running back or a running back by committee. But yeah, you look at, I mean, this guy, again, I wish, like Casino was saying, he feels like a name everybody knows and he feels like a much bigger star than he is, but he's never gone over 900. He's never got to 900 yards in a season, let alone a
That's
thousand. So,
insane.
that is crazy, especially on a Buffalo Bills team where it's not like they had a number one backup there. So there was space and opportunity to be that, and then he never was. But he's gonna get the Saquad, and I keep saying Saquad because that's what they call him in Madden. But he will get the
Gross.
Saquon Barkley treatment and maybe be the number one back in
Say
for the
quad. That's
Giants.
so gross.
He's got huge quads.
He does.
But
They're at the size of my torso. And
yeah,
that's honestly not being
no, you're probably
silly.
underselling how
Yeah.
big they are.
If you've never the naked sports center naked edition or
The
whatever it was.
Sports Illustrated, yeah.
Yeah. And if you want, I mean, you don't have to tell your wife, you don't
I
have to
love where
tell
this is going.
anybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can just do it on down low, you know. But definitely look it up. The dude is a specimen with his legs are insane. Like
Yeah.
they're it's scary that he looks like he has tree trunks as legs.
And we are here just podcasting with two tree trunks between our legs. So here we go.
Whoop whoop.
Again,
Woohoo.
kind of funny joke. So we're proving that one guy right.